got that camera set up and the computer over there. I see some red stuff on my screen, and then there's an actual counter going. So I think we're live now.
All right.
All right. So Christy, you asked about getting your OneDrive set up. We set you up the other day with Microsoft 365. It's on my family account. So with my $99 a year family account, that allows me to have 5 family members, and each of them can have, I think it's 5 computers plus all their mobile devices, all for $99 a year. It's really a good deal. Well, part of it is OneDrive. So that gives you a cloud backup, and it gives you a way of synchronizing your files between all of your devices, but it has to be set up. So if a person just subscribes to Microsoft 365, they might not be getting the backup that they think they're getting until they do these parts. So you ready to go with this?
I'm ready.
So I'm connected to both of your computers. I'm going to switch over here to my second computer, which gives us your computer screen. We'll move this Zoom meeting off to the side. So we've got your Microsoft Word pinned to the taskbar. I think you did that one. And the other Microsoft products aren't icons on the desktop or pinned to the taskbar yet. Well, there's this little cloud icon down here in the system tray, and it says up to date, but it still hasn't been configured. So I'm right clicking on it, and it says you're all set. So again, you might be thinking that your files are synchronized, and this says all files are in sync. Now, before we go into settings over here, I'm going to open up Windows Explorer, and we're going to go take a look at where OneDrive actually is. Up here we see OneDrive. When I click on that, we see documents and pictures. When I double click on documents, there's one item in there. And when I double click on pictures, there's nothing in there. Now let's see how that compares to your documents folder up here. This has a subfolder called Zoom. We didn't see that when we were looking in OneDrive, and we don't see that document that you were working on. So you actually got that document saved onto your OneDrive. I think, did you actually do that when you were using the cloud version of Word before we actually installed it on your computer maybe?
I may have. That's also a document that I got to you somehow. Remember when I was working on, yeah, that's old. So that was that.
So that wasn't recent.
Yeah, okay. That was the school that I was working on for a little while.
Now, the other piece of information for people who have some awareness of the C drive being your hard drive, if we come down here to the C drive and expand that, then come down to users and expand that, come to Christy, which is your user profile, whatever name you log in with, that's usually what's going to show up here. There's some exceptions. Then there's a documents folder, but down here there's a OneDrive folder. So this is actually where the OneDrive folder lives on your hard drive. Now, most people don't need to go down there or care about that. That's just a little supplemental information for people who want to have an understanding of how their hard drive works. And these days, even calling it a hard drive is kind of improper. If you have an SSD drive, it's not technically a hard drive. So I'm going to right-click on the OneDrive icon, then go to Settings. And what we're really interested here is coming to this Backup tab. And then Manage Backup. Now this screen is a little bit maybe ambiguous or not sure. These check marks, doesn't it look like you're already actively backing up these 3 items?
Yeah, you would think so.
You would think so, but you're not. These are just the default choices for configuring the backup. But down here we have this button that says Start Backup. It is not backing up those folders or that content yet. Let's see, what is the actual wording here? Selected folders will sync in OneDrive. New and existing files will be added to OneDrive, backed up, and available on your other devices even if you lose this PC. This hasn't been done yet. We have to click Start Backup. Now it's going to go really fast on your computer because you don't have any files in those folders. So I'm going to click Start Backup. We're going to come back to this screen in a little bit and have a look at what it looks like now. We've got a message here for view sync progress, but I'm sure it's already done. Is it? No. Well, 5 seconds ago. These were all done 5 seconds ago. See, we're doing your documents folder and your desktop and your pictures folder. Oh, there are some pictures around there somewhere.
Yeah, there was a couple of pictures just to test before I launched into Zoom and some of Braden's stuff from school today.
Okay. So I didn't even stumble across those as I was looking around. But here up here it says OneDrive is up to date. So those are done. Now, if we come back up here we're on the backup tab. If we go to manage backup, notice how this screen looks different now.
Yep.
There's no check marks. There's no start backup button. You can, well, it's kind of there, but it's grayed out. And you can stop backup if you choose. So that's it. We're done for this computer. Now, the thing that's really going to be interesting is when we go to your old computer in a few minutes and do the same thing. It has a lot more data on it. And it's a slower computer. It's got, let's see, emotional baggage.
That's a good way to put it. It's lived a life already.
It's lived a life. I think it's still Windows 8, isn't it?
Yes.
And I think that one started out in life as Windows 8, but quite a few years ago. And it has gotten sluggish over the years. So, but let's go, before we go to that one, let's come back up here to this documents folder and see these green check marks?
Mm-hmm.
That's new. That wasn't there earlier. These green check marks indicate that these folders are backed up to OneDrive. Now, let's go point out another thing on this OneDrive settings screen. I'm going to go to settings and then come to this first tab called settings. And there's this line right here, save space and download files as you use them. We have a check mark there. By default, the check mark is there. Now, if you don't understand that that check mark is there and you don't understand the consequences of it, it could cause you a little grief. What that means is if your hard drive was full and OneDrive realized you need some more free space in order for the computer to operate properly, these green check marks will change to look like a cloud. I think it's a white outline cloud, kind of similar to what this looks like down on in the system tray. Not quite that. The green check mark indicates that that file is in the cloud on OneDrive and it's physically on this computer, meaning if you disconnect this computer from the internet right now, you'll still be able to open that file.
Cool.
But if your hard drive is full, then those green check marks will change to the cloud image, which tells you that that file exists on the cloud, but it's only going to be downloaded to your computer when you try to open it. So you would have to be connected to the internet at the time.
Okay.
If you try to open that when you're not connected to the internet, it's not going to open. So by default, that check mark is there. Well, if a person was using a laptop and they want to be away at a campsite and do some work, then you don't want that check mark. Okay? By removing that check mark, that forces your files to always be fully on your computer.
Okay.
Make sense?
So they'll still exist on your computer, but they will also be backed up to the cloud.
That's right.
Okay.
They'll always exist in the cloud. The only question mark is, do they always exist on your computer? Are they available on your computer if you're not connected to the internet?
When you're offline.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So when we do this same configuration where we go to backup and we choose those 3 folders on your other laptop, think about this for a minute. What's going to happen when your old laptop, desktop icons and documents and pictures go to that same location on OneDrive? Now you've got 2 computers that are backing up to the same location. So when we do that with your old computer, those files will go to the OneDrive cloud and they will instantly start coming down to your new computer.
Okay.
Without doing anything else at your new computer. So I'm suspecting your old computer has more icons on the desktop.
I've removed them. I don't keep a whole lot on
okay.
there, but I completely cleared it off.
Okay, so let's go switch over to your old computer now. Since you're not connected on, you don't have Zoom running on that computer, that means you're no longer on screen. All right, so let's go take a look here. I'm going to go look at your Windows Explorer and your Documents folder. And yeah, we see there's a bunch of stuff there. And we see there's a camera roll and a bunch of pictures there. Okay. Now, we have not installed your Microsoft 365 account on this computer. These Microsoft Office icons, let's see what version that is or where that comes from.
I think they were you.
It is.
If you go back there, yeah, it has your email address on it. There's like a note at the top saying it's out of date, actually.
Well, okay, here it's actually Christy at Work Home Life Assistant I don't think that's the same email address that we use for your new computer, is it?
No, that's old.
Yeah, that's old Christy. Whoops. Daddy. So I'm contemplating whether we want to switch this over. Yeah, we have to switch this over to the same account that we're using on your new computer. So I'm going to jump back to your new computer screen and we'll go take a look at that. If we go into Word and go to Account, and here we see it's ChristyDougBetts at Gmail. Yeah. So these computers aren't going to be able to use the same OneDrive account. Now, I say that with a little bit of hesitation in my voice because there is a way to do it, but it's really kind of messy. We shouldn't be doing that.
Okay.
So this other account that you have on the old computer, where do you think that's also tied to my family account?
I would suspect so. I mean, you set up this laptop for me as well.
Okay.
Have those programs on there for me.
Yeah. I'm going to switch back to my computer and bring up my Microsoft account and see what computers I show in there.
That, just FYI, the email address that's on the old laptop, that is not even active anymore. So I have interest in
dumping that.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm signing in to my Microsoft account on the office.com website. And then I see 7 devices, Surface 3. Oh, okay. So now let's go look at what the name of this computer is. Let's see. Yeah, we're at the right one. Going into Windows Explorer on your old computer, right-click on this PC, choose Properties. The name of this computer is Doug HP Red. Okay, coming back to my screen, is Doug HP Red on here? No. Vaguely think it might have been renamed at some point in this one called CAC Loaner. Let's see. I don't see that we really care about that. Nope, it's not that one because this one shows that that computer is 8 gigabytes of memory, and over here you can see on Christie's HP Red it's 4 gigabytes of memory. So it's definitely not that computer. So I think that account on your computer, Christy, is not associated with my subscription. And you...
I was just trying to think about that. I mean, it's possible that I went and got the free version. Is there a way to determine if this is, because I don't think I paid for a subscription, but
yeah,
I could have used the free version.
Yeah, I don't think so because the free version today anyway is online. You don't get to install the applications on your computer.
Oh.
Now, if we go to manage account, if you are a sub-user on somebody else's account, that should become visible here. Do you know what the password is for your Microsoft account using that email address?
Possibly.
This might be futile, meaning when I'm questioning whether we really even care about this. Daddy, do you even know how to spell my name?
I know. I was just going to get on you. I don't know.
At workhomelife.assistant.com. Couldn't find an account with that username. Interesting. Did I spell it right?
Work Home Life Assistant. Yes. workhomelife.assistant.com. CHRSTY. That's weird.
That is totally weird because it's not telling us that you're not logged in. And normally it actually says is signed in. Wow. Okay, well, let's drop that. I think we don't really care about that. So let's try change license. You can switch to another Office license associated with this account. No, that's not what we want to do. Oh, here, ChristyDougBetts@gmail. That's what we want to change to.
Yeah.
Use different account. Next. Let's check your account. Well, that is just curious. That does not make sense, does it?
Yeah.
How did this computer...
ChristyDougBetts@gmail, that is my Microsoft account. But in Word, it's noting that my Microsoft account is the workhomelife.assistant.com, right?
Yeah. That just doesn't seem right. And I'm wondering, how does this computer even know about this address? All right. You know, one of the things we do with computers is just make it work. We don't really need to explain why. Select Office for this study. Your account has multiple Office products. We selected the best one for you, Microsoft 365, using 0 of 5 installs. No, we already installed one for you. This still shows the old address. That shows the old address. Okay, so this is fun.
You didn't know I was going to throw you a curveball, huh?
Yeah, well, I should know it because this is my world. This is my life. Office Insider, no. Manage account. So see, when we want to manage account, we find that there is no such account. Oh boy. Well, let's try your Gmail address. Ah, come on. Spelling matters. Feel my second grade teacher wrapping my knuckles with a ruler. You're not allowed to do that, are you?
Oh my gosh. That really happened?
Probably. I don't remember it. As part of our effort to improve experience, yada. Click next. Do I have my button set right? Yeah, we're showing the right screen. Okay, so then again, with this Christy D. Betts business at gmail.com, I could try explaining away my typing irregularities because I'm kind of twisting my arms around on my desk. You can't sign in here with a personal account. Okay, so let's see. So see, I have a family account, which they're identifying as a personal account, even though they have a different account called a personal account that's not family account. Again, Microsoft's use of branding terms leaves something to be desired. Use your work or school account instead. You know what? I know what the right solution is for this. I've been through this before. We just need to uninstall your Microsoft 365 account completely and install the right version from the family suite of products. It's all Microsoft 365, but it's different.
Weird.
There's the personal side of Microsoft and the work school side, and never the twain shall meet in terms of licenses. Okay, so where am I going to do that? Okay, I'm doing the Windows key and the letter R and appwiz.cpl to get me into the application wizard. It's a whole lot quicker and easier to get there under Windows 8 because of the way Windows 8 just does things different. Then if I come down here to there's Microsoft 365. I scrolled right past it. I was about to say, wait a minute, it's not here. And so I'll click uninstall for that.
And that has no effect on my documents and things that I've created within those programs, right?
It erases them all, but maybe we can get them back.
Oh, stop it. You're mean.
I'm kidding. No. Yeah, documents are all safe. And this is the time when I should ask you, you do have a current backup, right? No, they're safe. But this is why we're doing this, to get you a form of backup, right? And I'm going to ask you, you have a current backup, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, there's catch-22 and all kinds of backward stuff there. So let's see, we're also going to want to uninstall this OneDrive because I don't trust it to be the right version of OneDrive. I've had troubles with that. And the troubles happen when you're trying to, you put in the email address and the password and it keeps telling you that's not valid. And with no clue as to why. And the answer that I have found through many, many struggles, or not many instances of the struggles, but in the first struggles that I came across those problems, took quite a while to figure it out. What was going on is this difference between, there's the personal versions of Microsoft 365, which include, they've used the names individual and personal and family and home. And then there's the business or enterprise side referred to as work or school. And I've had, oh boy, in the early days of Office 365, that's what they called it in the beginning. Now it's called Microsoft 365. But in the early days when it was just Office 365, I had occasions where I had some clients who already had a personal version of a Microsoft account, but they also had a custom business domain, so that you have an email address that's not at Gmail, but rather at your company.
Right.
They had both. So when I would launch OneDrive or Office, it would ask, which do you want, your personal or business account? And then for a while, it was optional. Then they pulled that away. So here we have done installing, and we've successfully removed Office, not required right away. Recommend you restart your computer. And then we'll go to OneDrive and uninstall that. And let's see, this computer probably takes a while to restart, doesn't it?
A little bit, not too terribly long.
Not too bad?
No.
Okay, well then we'll restart it.
Okay.
Just because it helps eliminate. And let's see, did you just click on a confirmation button?
No.
Oh, I turned my head and looked at my YouTube, which is a delayed broadcast. I was seeing myself. I was seeing myself from the past. I do a little bit of time traveling.
Time traveling. That's cool.
Yeah. All right, so I'll come down. Oh, then we're at Windows 8 here. So this gets where it takes us to the Metro desktop. Then we can go to this power button. For a while, they didn't even have that power button there. What you had to do is move the mouse over to the right edge so that charms bar would show up. And I can't even do that remotely.
Oh, wow.
Can you move your mouse over to the right edge there so we can show what the charms bar is?
I don't think, oh, there it is.
There it is.
So you had to go here, or it had a power button on that?
No, actually go back to the charms bar, So my first experiences with Windows 8, here's what I had to do. Is it not coming?
Doesn't like me now. Come on.
Let's see, you don't have two monitors on this. You do have a scroll bar down there. Try dragging that scroll bar all the way to the right. Then see if you can bring up. There's the charms bar. Go to settings.
You had to go down there, and that was...
Yes.
Then there was...
Yes. How do you figure that one out?
Oh, my
Go ahead and click on that.
Oh, click on it?
Click on settings.
Come on.
And as you can see, the charms bar is not very
I don't
stable.
like that thing either. Come on. It doesn't want to.
Try doing it at halfway up, right around the middle of the screen. No? Okay, try the upper right corner.
There we go. Okay, settings.
Okay, so go down to settings. And then power. Yeah, click power. And then restart.
Wow. That's a whole lot of steps.
Somebody at Microsoft got paid a lot of money to
mess it all up.
I don't know why. What were they thinking? Okay, so now I've got an indication here on my Log Me In Rescue that your computer is rebooting, and it actually restarted the connection timer. So now it's showing 21 seconds and counting. Then when that gets far enough, it'll give me this Launch Remote Control Session button.
Okay.
That button will become available. Yeah, you say okay like you're looking at it and you can see what I'm pointing to.
So are the viewers looking at my black screen booting back up now?
No, actually right now I just punched back to the Zoom screen. So they should be seeing both of us.
Gotcha.
Although sometimes that screen comes up black or just
oh wow.
Doesn't but it does look like our images are there. Yeah, on the YouTube video just caught up. So it is there. So let's see, we can actually saw a corner of your laptop on the desk last time I was looking at your video, or sometime earlier. I guess you moved the laptop.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I moved it closer so that I wouldn't have to be backwards.
Yeah,
it's right.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Let's see. Okay, so now the status is changed to active and the Launch Remote Control Session button just became available. Is your screen Is your desktop up yet? Probably not.
No, it's still loading the welcome
Still,
screen, and then I have to push enter a couple times to get all the way
yeah,
there.
that's consistent. So now I see staff welcome and that spinning circle
Yes.
of death.
Yes.
Did you hear my nickname for that?
Spinning circle of death,
Yeah,
like the blue screen of death.
yeah,
That's what I remember from tech school ages ago.
yeah.
Okay, I'm back up.
All right, I got you there. So we've got Office uninstalled. So we'll go to your, bring up your browser, and we're going to sign in to your web Microsoft account and perform the installation. Now that installation is probably going to be kind of slow.
Okay.
Now wait a minute, Xfinity Wi-Fi sign
Uh,
in. Why are
this
we're getting that? Because
that
they're
so I've realized the best thing is to just cancel out of that. I connect
yeah,
over here through Xfinity and it's always just fine, but it launched
yeah,
some application or something when I connected to a hotspot. So now it's just
okay,
it always bugs me.
all right. Yeah, I see this XF down here in your system tray. I bet that
Yes.
has, oh, that's just your Wi-Fi. Yeah, when you have a Xfinity or Comcast account, like for your home internet,
Hmm.
you can, if you get within range of anybody's Comcast or Xfinity device, you can connect through your Xfinity account using their equipment. It's
Hmm.
kind of like a public Wi-Fi at a Starbucks or anything like that.
Okay.
Um, and so your computer is probably when it was trying to decide which Wi-Fi to connect to, maybe it saw the Xfinity first because it perhaps detected one nearby. All right, so here we've got your browser up. I'll click in the address bar and type office.com. Let's see, and this is going to want us to sign in to your Microsoft account, which uses your Gmail address. And every time you do that, Microsoft cringes, right? Because Gmail is a Google account and Microsoft is a competitor to Google. We got into Braden's Office 365.
Yeah, so we actually just had to set him up with one because he's doing virtual school now and using Microsoft Teams.
And he's using this computer.
Nope. He's using
Oh,
his tablet.
oh,
But I
okay.
think I logged in here to check things out before he actually started school.
Okay. Okay. So that's really interesting because this account actually gives the capability to install Office because it's the school account, and that allows you to do that. So all we're going to do here is click on Braden's profile button up here. You know, if you had a picture loaded on his profile, it would be showing his picture.
Right.
And then we'll sign out of that and then sign in with your account. Now, when I saw that, I got to thinking your other Microsoft account was not a valid account. And as far as we know, you weren't using OneDrive on that. Did we actually look at that? Yeah, I think we did. I just started getting a little concerned if there might be some documents still on that other Microsoft account. And it could be that we couldn't sign into it because of that distinction between a business account and a personal account. So anyway, go ahead and click on sign in the left-hand side of the screen. No,
Switch.
sorry. Different account. Switch to a different account.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and you could do the don't show again. So this gets you to the screen where you can actually use applications from the web or install them. You can close that window that's wanting to tell you all about the wonders of Microsoft 365. Then you can close that, install Office.
Okay.
Now I want to point out that if you don't have or don't want to pay for a Microsoft 365 subscription, you can sign in to your Microsoft account this way. You can get up to this point, and those applications that you see on the screen right there, you can run them right here from the web interface, and they're fully functional. They are working from a web browser though, so be a little bit different than perhaps what a person might be used to when they're using a Microsoft Word that's actually installed on the computer. So that's free to anybody. And you can go to office.com and use your own email address. It doesn't have to be a Microsoft email address, but whatever address that you want to use that's legitimately your primary address. You shouldn't be using your own work account from your office for wherever you work. You should be using an email account that you're going to have for a long time moving forward, and it is for you. So you can sign into the office.com site. And if your account already exists with Microsoft, you're going to have to put in the correct password. If you fail to do that, then do the forgot password routine. You might already have a Microsoft account and not know it. If you've ever used Xbox, then you have a Microsoft account. And what else did they have? Microsoft has had a whole lot of other businesses that they have absorbed or purchased. And if you had accounts with any of those, then when you put in your email address, the one that you want to use for this, if you can't get the password right, and it keeps trying to get you to put the right password, that means there is a Microsoft account with that email address. You've either got to put in the right address or do the forgot password sequence. And if you put in a password and it says that account doesn't exist, then you need to create a new account. Okay, I've been jibber-jabbering long enough. So click install in the upper right corner. You know what? I could have had you click install and then just done all of that talk. Do you see that install Office button?
I do.
Yep.
Oh, because we uninstalled everything. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We uninstalled it. So
okay.
Now we're installing it. So this is also going to install OneDrive. And since this is a family account, I don't think this is going to install Teams. If you're installing on your business account, if you work for a company that has a business account, or even as an individual, if you happen to get your account qualified as a business account, then Microsoft really kind of really pushes Teams on any business account and school account. All right, so close that advertisement. And then on the left-hand side, use office.com, bring your ideas to life. Go to office.com, scroll down a bit. Get Office mobile apps, signed in devices. It didn't already finish the install, did it? Keep scrolling down.
I don't know. It feels like this page hasn't even fully loaded.
Yeah, it does. The page doesn't look right. Yeah, this page doesn't look right. Try the refresh button. Do you know what the refresh button is?
Yes. This one up here?
Yep. That looks better. Okay, so now we've got another Install Office button. Let's scroll down a little bit and look at that before we click on that one. Okay, it's showing the other signed in devices. So let's see, those are both your devices. There's the HP Red.
Yeah.
Okay, of course, this is the HP Red we're working on, so it's signed in. And then the other one, Desktop 901, I think that's your new computer, isn't it?
Okay. Desktop 901.
Is it? Let's jump back over to your new computer and then go to the Windows Explorer I'm clicking on. And then right click on this PC and choose Properties. And then right here, yep, Desktop 901 F5NK. Do you want to ask me why I named it that way?
Is there a reason? I mean, HP
No,
Red is pretty.
Yeah.
I got that one.
This computer defaulted to that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's part of the serial number for that computer.
Huh.
I did not do that intentionally. It would have been a good idea probably to change the name to something more descriptive, because 3 years from now when we go and look at this screen, are we going to know what that is?
Right.
All right, so I'm done looking around there. You can go ahead and click on the Install Office button on the left side of the screen, about halfway down.
Okay.
Download English, so you could change from English if you wanted to. Go ahead and click Install. So there's downloading. So we're looking somewhere on the screen to see activity. The bottom left corner, we see an office setup. Now this is something that a lot of people get stuck at. We told it to install, and now very inconspicuously in the bottom left-hand corner, there was a little bit of activity, but if you didn't know to look there, you wouldn't have seen that. And what I had happen just the other day, and I even have it on video, we clicked to install something, and the screen was dragged down so that the bottom of the browser window was not visible.
Oh.
So we didn't even see that download happen in the bottom left corner.
Wow.
So go ahead and click on that in the bottom left corner. That ought to be a single left click. And then we got some confirmations. Yes. So now we're probably going to have some long periods of silence as far as things happening that we can talk about or explain.
Yeah.
So when it finishes this, I think we're going to get some like confirmation dialog boxes or some informational boxes that tell you about the features that you now have. And is there anything else useful we can do? Okay, so when this finishes, one of the things that's going to happen is we're going to have that cloud icon down here in the system tray. All these little icons in the bottom right corner of the screen, that area is called the system tray. And so once we get that cloud, we're going to want to right click on it and go to settings and then the backup tab. And there'll be those 3 check marks, and that's going to back up what you have on this computer to your cloud account. So then all of that's going to exist on both computers. So the documents and pictures that are on one computer are just going to show up on the other computer.
That's so nice. Did we end up clicking that checkbox to make that happen? I remember you explaining it, but okay.
Yes, those 3 check marks were there, and then we clicked the Start Backup button, and then we saw when the synchronizing was finished. And then we went back into your Windows Explorer and we saw the green check marks that indicated those files were backed up to your cloud.
Right. I was meaning the checkbox that the files would also be stored on the physical computer as well as the cloud. Do we check that checkbox?
Oh, okay. Let's switch back to your other computer. And so what you're talking about is a right click on the OneDrive here, and it's this little pop-up menu that we're interested in. We go to Settings, and then go to the Settings tab, and it's this checkbox. By default, it's there,
Okay.
but if you want to ensure that your documents are on your computer when you're offline, then you want to remove that check mark. That's
So
kind of backwards. That's
Right.
opposite of intuitive. That's not intuitive.
Right.
See, because the wording of this, if you didn't understand what it was talking about, what it was referring to, it'd be hard to understand. Save space and download files as you use them. What in the world does that mean if you don't really understand the workings of OneDrive? So if you have a check mark, that means you're going to save space. The only way you're going to save space is if the files are not actually stored on your computer.
Gotcha.
So that means with that check mark there, the files are only in the cloud full time. They'll be on your computer only when you're using them or if you've recently used them. So
Gotcha.
I have one of my computers that's kind of low on free space. So that happens a lot. A lot of them have that. If I'm remembering right, it's a outline of a cloud with kind of a white center. Cloud white, I guess that makes sense.
Okay.
And if I open one of those while I'm connected to the internet, it'll get a green check mark just right away because it's downloading that right now.
Okay.
Then if my computer is okay on free space, that green check mark will stay there for some amount of time. I don't know how long. I think it'll be until OneDrive senses that I'm running low on space on my computer. So then it'll just remove that check mark for some of those files. Does it actually delete them? Probably not. It probably just removes that check mark and it no longer updates those files. When you delete a file from a computer, it doesn't actually get deleted anyway. I think you're aware of that from back in your tech school days, because when you delete a file on a computer, all it does, think of it like a book, and a book has a table of contents. So when you delete a chapter, the only thing that really happens is they go over and erase the first character of that chapter name in the table of contents. And that's all. It just erases that first character. Or I think even changes it to an underscore or something. I'm not sure what. But anyway, so it's just essentially a flag to indicate that the file is in a deleted state. Okay, so let's see. What am I need to get back here and see what's going on. We're getting to, we've got a progress bar down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to wait for this. Okay?
We might have to jump back on our video when it's done.
Yeah.
And resume.
Well, I don't. Yeah, we might. I've got to go to a client's office here.
Okay.
So if it's not convenient for us to finish this up, we don't have to finish this up in a video. Okay. So if it gets to the end, it's going to have some other rather obvious things for you to click on. You could just go ahead and do that. Or if you guys wind up leaving before it's done, then maybe we'll pick it up tomorrow. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
But once it's done, we could come back onto a video to do that configuration of OneDrive.
Yeah.
That would be a useful thing to do.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and call this a wrap. I'm gonna end my remote session for HP Red. And that brings me back here. I'll just close down a couple things we have open there. And then that one, if I close that, that's going to end our Zoom session. So I'll say goodbye.
All right. Bye. Thanks for your help.
All right. You're welcome. Goodbye, Christy.
Bye.
Okay, and that does that session. So if you would like to request a support session with me for whatever computer questions or issues you might have, send an email to this email address on your screen right now, DougBetts at LiveWindowsTraining.com. So I hope that was useful to you. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.